Hello everyone, today we are finally doing it. This is a M+ guide for survival hunters with a hint of raid as well, but mainly focusing on M+. And we'll start right away with, and let's see, I can die. We'll go over the basic stuff first, such as gear and stats, and then have that discussion, and that also includes the bullions. And then after that I will go into talents, and lastly at the end I will do a rotation, showing a little bit how to do it, but you'll get the hang of it. So stat wise, this all depends on two things. Do you have the tier 3 from last season or not? If you have the tier 3 from last season, continue using it. It's better than tier 4 in terms of numbers. However, you can still run tier 4, but then you have to switch around the stats pretty much. That's why I'm telling you. So I will first now show you tier 3. So if you're using tier 3, I suggest go as much verse as possible. I have 6.1k verse without verse pot, and then I have just above 4k haste and 5k crit. So crit is important. Haste used to be, it's still important. I would say in an ideal world where we're not so squishy with tier 3, I would have more haste again. So I would go up to 30%. But 25-26 is good. It still does the work. So aim for around at least 25% haste, 42% crit-ish, and then just get as much verse as possible, because since you're using this tier 3, you are behind on item level. I am pretty much stacked with gear and I'm only 515. I'm losing 7 item levels just because of that. So it's pretty annoying, but it is what it is. If you are, however, starting new, and if you are starting new, welcome. I hope you're enjoying the spec. It is one of the most fun spec ever. But then the stat change kinda switches around a bit, because it's very slow to play tier 4. So I suggest go kinda around what I have in verse, above 6k. You want to have that in crit, and then have similarly, I would guess, a little bit less crit. You can go below 5k, between 4 and 5k crit, and then have some verse, and master is still shit, you know. But the important thing is haste is king here with tier 4, because you're very slow when you're attacking, and haste makes up for that. And it is what it is. They're not changing it so far, so we're doing it the best what we can, what we have. So if you're new to the spec, again, you have to play with it. It's hard. You can't get the old tier with like full upgraded, so it's not worth doing that. But for me, I have 489 on all my pieces, so I'm still at least maxing that. But yeah, with that said, that's around what you want to aim for. And then embellishment, I go with adaptive Dracofist arm guards. That gives you stat depending on the situation. If you take damage, you gain burst and crit, and if you causing critical damage or healing, can grant you master and haste. It's just a lot of stats all around. We like all of them, even, I mean, the master is but you know, it's still very good. So I run with that, and then my second embellishment is a Shadow Flame. You can of course run other ones. There's no definitive answer that this is the best and all the others are crap. There is such as you can run double Shadow Flame, you can run Lariat with a Shadow Flame. However, this one I feel it leans more into the verse, which I like, and just overall getting more stats. So it's very, you know, all broadly working. It works well for raids as well. Yeah, so that's my embellishment. Then the fun part of this season, we have bullions. You know, these little things that you can buy basically every raid item that you ever wanted, that you have been grinding, you know, for seasons and season on. Which makes it just obtainable to get your best gear, basically. And the first bullion, or the first 2 bullion you should use and buy something is, of course, weapon. Rashon, the Immortal Blaze. This is from Firak. It does tons of damage. You can see, let's see if I have a run here. I had a very nice academy here before. You can see, for example, that here, Bakash did 16 million just as a passive, which is pretty nice. So I like that. So, especially if you don't have a good weapon, I actually switched around and bought Grief Torch first, which is your second bullion choice, because I early on got a nice weapon and I didn't get any trinkets. So then I switched around just to have better eye level overall. So first 2 is weapon plus Grief Torch. Grief Torch is amazing for M+, it's amazing for single target, AoE, works for raid, it's just the best trinkets to have. As a third bullion, you want to have Seal of Durnas Chosen. As you know, we have a lot of bombs and a lot of it is fire damage, and Seal of Durnas Chosen is dealing fire damage has a chance to ignite your enemies, burning them for an additional 20k damage every 2 seconds, which is pretty good. I think if we look here again on this run, I believe, which is it? They never show that. There we have it. Also, 8 millions, just passive, dealing fire damage. I mean, it's damage, so you know, it's better, and it has very nice stats, which is also why it's very good for us. High verse, which suits us perfectly when we are playing tier 3, and crit, which is nice. We want a lot of crit, so it's one of the best rings to have for sure. Or you want to have this ring, you must have it. I would say. With that is basically the top 3 in my list. We haven't got, next week we will get the 4th one. No, wait. No, we have got 3, yeah. I didn't buy this one with Bullion. I got it off the raid in normal. That's true. So I'm planning to buy it maybe. Again, just to get it higher item level. Another one that... Yeah, we're still in the gear section, so let's talk about it. You see maybe that my second trinket is not a one you see very often, because I play Enduring Dreadblade, which is a tank trinket. It gives agility, it covers myself with a reducing damage taken, and it's physical, and it's 15%, no, yeah, 15% damage reduction. And once it expires, or you take that amount of damage, you shoot out a shadow flame that does some damage. We can see here again. That is the Ray of Anguish, which did 24 million on this one, so almost 3%. Pretty good damage still. But it just helps because I'm squishy, you know, I'm pushing high keys a lot, so I want to have that as an extra defensive, basically. You can never have enough when you are behind them item level and are playing the squishiest class in the game. However, if you're not really pushing that hard, of course you can run with more traditional trinkets. I can show you here, such as Anvil from last tier, is it? No, Abrus. Also Cataclysmic Signet from My'das, pretty good. Also people are playing a lot with the Boon trinket. Is that from... Let's see, I think that's a raid trinket, right? I haven't bought it yet, but... Yes, it is. Right? Yeah, this one. It's like you accept the storm becoming you're standing still for 10 seconds and doing AoE. And it does tons of damage, but you're also standing still and it's rooted for 10 seconds. So it's dangerous to play it for sure, but it does good damage. But yeah, there's a lot of choices there. I would say follow the WoW head guy and get whatever you feel like works for you. If you're pushing, yeah, then tank trinket is the way to go. But if you're more chilling with it and of course raiding, then Signet or Anvil is the best one compared with Grief Torch. Other than that, there's like a few trinkets that you can, like you can show here. Grief Torch is good, Boon is good, the Dreadplate is good, Signet and Anvil of course. But also if you have a full group with icons, you can run that. Bandolier is still decent. Like all these trinkets from the past seasons, you know them, you've seen them. They're decent. I would say most of them work, but I would aim for. I like Dreadplate a lot actually. It helps out so much when you're pushing and you don't die every time. So with that said, if they change the tier and give us other stuff, then yeah, I would play a DPS trinket. But for now, this is what I run. And yeah, that was the gear stuff. I know it's a lot, but hopefully you understand the basic of it. But crit haste verse, still good. If you have tier 3, then a lot of verse. If you have tier 4, a lot of haste. And you can also see, I have done some sims. Here is, for example, me just switching out my tier 3 to tier 4 with full upgraded 522 heroic stuff. I'm behind 44k in Dungeon Slice, which is kind of sad. If I do single target, I lose 23k with the same stuff, which is, you know, it's not good at all. I don't like that. Blizzard should really fix it, because it's annoying that I don't am allowed to play current gear to maximize my DPS. And also here I actually did some sims with the trinkets, Anvil, Signet and the Boon, and surprisingly they don't really outperform the Dreadplate. So it kind of makes me want to say still play the Dreadplate. But it's a different playstyle for sure. You have to also plan for it, because if you're not taking damage, the damage won't come until 15 seconds later. So it might be good to drop it very early sometimes, if you know that, oh, some damage might come, but also I want my damage to come out before everything is dead. So it's a lot of planning to do, for sure. Yes. That is a big part of Survival Hunters for sure. Next up, pretty more straightforward talents. We have. I was last season a big believer in the no cooldown build, which is this one, where you basically don't run coordinated assault at all. You completely this one and just have full points here. You get more points in here, and you also run Mongoose Bite in M+. I really liked it, but now I've been playing more with a standard. This is the more standard, and this is the one I suggest that you play now. The standard coordinated assault, full into that, and if Birds of Prey, that you do kill shot on 3 more targets. It's just performing so well, and the burst with this one plus that and the Grief Torch now, oh man, some fights is actually just amazing. I've been popping off with it, so I really like this one. So this is my go-to M+ build for you raiders out there. It's not much to switch. You basically remove the 2 middle nodes here with take away Butchery and Frenzy Strikes. Give 1 more point to Ruthless Marauder, and then put Mongoose Bite, because, you know, Mongoose Bite is super good in a single target. And also you switch up Birds of Prey to Bombardier, which gives you full 2 bombs when you activate it. So it's just be sure to empty your bombs before pressing it to get the most value of that. And yeah, of course you can. I've seen some madmans trying out the Spearhead build, and I like it in a way, but we all know that at the end of the day it's about damage and what you do the most damage, for most of us at least. And this is the build I would say does the most damage in M+. And this works for both Tyrannical weeks and M+ Fortified weeks. I'm surprised how good single target I do with this build, even though I'm not running Mongoose Bite. I'm almost out DPSing most people in single target, and it's a little bit behind some meta classes in AoE, but this definitely works for sure to push high numbers. I mean, you saw this is with the M+ build, and I'm going 327k single target, which is pretty good. So yeah, that's the talents. And with that, there's one thing that I want to mention, but you can check it out. I will have it in the description, but there is macros also to playing with coordinated assault, which is that you have to turn off this pet attack. You see, it's this one, smack, for the instance. It's different depending on the pet, but it just smacks the enemy and does some damage. And important, when you're using coordinated assault, if you have read it, it says you and your pet's bond is then strengthened for 20 seconds, causing your pet basic attack to empower your next spell cast. And it can either empower a bomb or a kill shot. And sadly, the bomb empowerment is garbage. So you only want kill shot. And to ensure that, I have a macro with my coordinated assault that turns off the autocast of pet autocast off on all the different versions, and then I pop all kinds of stuff in it. And when I then press kill shot, I cast it once. I don't turn on autocast again. I cast it once manually before I use kill shot, which ensures that I get the empowerment and I use a kill shot in the global after it, which works pretty well. And then to turn the pet autocast on again, I have just added it into a macro I have with my mounts, basically. So I will link that in the, or not link it, I will post it in the description for you to copy paste. It's free macros, and they are vital to get the most damage out of your coordinated assault. Because if an empowered bomb does like 1/10 of the damage to an empowered kill shot, especially in AoE when it spreads to 4 targets. And I have only one more thing to show, and that is basically rotation. And I will just demonstrate a little bit with some ads here. Of course, we have Hunter's Mark now. Always apply that before you run into a pack. It gives, what does it do? If they're above 80% health, it increases all damage by 5. It's good, could be better, but it's decent. That druid took that mob, so I will find a new one. And then I can't, it's hard to say use this one after this, and you know, there's not a strict order, but I would say the number one priority is using bombs a lot. So I empty my bombs, for example, here, and now I've used 2 of them, and then I have a combo where, or a very good combo is using the bombs, and then, as you know, with this one you're getting back some of the bomb cooldowns. So you want to empty your bombs, then use a combo with explosive shot, death chakram, and Fury of the Eagle. This makes sure that your explosive shot goes off in 3 seconds. You apply death chakram extra damage, and you then start applying, or you start doing Fury of the Eagle, and with the tier 3 set you get extra crit and extra damage, and that applies to your already applied explosive shot, so you're maximizing the damage without using glow balls inside your burst window, which is after every Fury of the Eagle. So always use that one if you can. I will show it again. I apply explosive shot, death chakram, and then Fury of the Eagle, usually when I'm close. And now my explosive shot does the most damage. It has 10% from death chakram and also 15% from Fury of the Eagle. Other than that, it's basically apply bombs, use kill shot as much as possible when you need focus. In AoE you use butchery, in single targets you use raptor strike or mongoose bite. And don't overcap on the tip of the spear, that every time you use a kill command you get 1 stack of that will increase your damage of your next raptor strike by 25%. Don't overcap them by just spamming kill shot over and over again, because you won't use that all the time. And then there is of course the bombs, which is a big thing. You have 3 different bombs. I wonder if I can show all of them here. No. Okay, there's no good way to showing it. But basically there is the one that's up now, for example. We start with that one. You have shrapnel bomb, that when you apply it, it does I think some ticking damage. Burning shrapnel, scorching them for damage over 6 seconds. And when that one is applied, you can see it here. If I use raptor strike or butchery, I apply a dot, internal bleeding. So whenever you use the blue bomb, you want to use your spenders to get the dot up. If you have the green bomb, you apply serpent sting, and the red bomb is so that you have no cooldown, or the kill command will always be up again, like reset. And that is good for, of course, getting a lot of focus, but then also getting a lot of stack of tip of the spear. But also a very important one is that every time it does reset, it reduces the cooldown of your Fury of the Eagle by 4 seconds, which is your burst window, as I mentioned. So you want to, when you can, I always try to pump out a lot of kill command. I realize now that this isn't a good way of showing it. I will go to the training dummies so that I can get out Fury of the Eagle again quicker. The more Fury of the Eagle you have, the more bombs you have, and the more crit damage you have, and blah blah blah. So always try to use that. And of course kill command is a dot as well, so you should not only be, when you're spamming kill command and it resets every time, don't just stand on 1 target in AoE. Tap target around, so maybe you apply it on 3 targets, because then you have 3 kill command dots, which is gonna min-max your damage a little bit more. So I will show here again. Blue bomb now, it's up on every target. Boom, 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 I have 3 stacks of the dot. It does 7k damage. And now I have the red bomb. So now I will, you can see my kill command always resets. And I'm tab targeting around and getting the dot up. And if my Fury of the Eagle would be enough, I will spend it so I can show you. Blue bomb, now I have red bomb. And watch my Fury of the Eagle now. Boom, 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 boom. I reduced it by 12 seconds, which is huge because it does a lot of damage. And then of course green bomb is just apply it as much as possible because it does apply your serpent sting. That is the baseline, I would say. There is of course a lot of other min-max stuff you can do. For example, you have, as a talent, we run with poison injection, that when you have applied serpent sting, you can see it on most of the target here. It ticks up a stack of latent poison that when you use a spender on it, and not butchery, only raptor strike, it will consume them and do damage. So if we use that, we can see here on the damage here. Serpent sting does a lot, of course, but you can see down here you have latent poison, and my biggest hit was 145k, and that was probably when I had 10 stack, which is the maximum. So a very good also way to min-max is, as you see now, I have poison on everyone, and everyone is getting the stack. So if I were to have downtimes with no bombs and I see that there's a lot of stacks around, I just raptor strike, tab target, raptor strike, tab target, raptor strike, and get out some stacks because it does decent damage. Yeah, and of course, as I mentioned, I will show a sequence with coordinated assault. So I press it, this is my petacat, now it's not on. I press my kill command, I have the dot up on everyone, and now when it's up again, press it, I'm ensuring the bleed is happening. You can hear it from the sound, it's a sound cue. You're like, and you always, now I was very lazy because I was talking, but you always want to have, you can maximum get out 4 kill shots during one coordinated assault window. So always try to aim for that. Don't do too much in between, that could take your time. Be sure to always prioritize your kill shot over everything else during this 20 seconds that you have. And of course, yeah, just run. I think you'll probably feel the flow pretty easily once you start running around. Like now I have 1 bomb and I only have 1 stack of butcher, so I apply that, get a bomb up again, I have a kill command up, I have a flanking strike, kill command again. In AoE you always want bombs, of course, so butchery and bombs is the important one, and then you just run everything on cooldown. Is a very nice way to say it. Press everything and prioritize the bomb, and you're pretty good to go, I would say. And yeah, I know it's a lot to take in, and I can not stress enough that practice makes perfection. So if you have any questions about that I forgot in this video, join me on my Discord channel where you can ask all the questions you want, and I will try to answer them as understandable as possible. But I'm hoping this was an informative video, and yeah, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It helps out a lot. We are almost at 300 subscribers, huge milestone for sure. And of course the Discord again, I'm posting whenever I'm live on Twitch and when I upload videos, and of course you're free to ask questions to me, and if you want, we can play together as well. I'm down to do keys with several survival hunters in a group. That would be fun. So, hope you enjoyed, and hope you're also enjoying this wonderful spec that is called Survival Hunter, that hopefully will get buffs soon. It looks more promising in the next expansion of War Within, so maybe I'm hoping not, but I can see that Blizzard won't do a thing about our tier set for this season, so make the most out of it and enjoy the spec, and don't feel too stressed about that we aren't the best spec. It's a game after all, so have fun with it, right? Right, see you in the next one. Bye bye.